Let's review the three-hand building techniques. In this video, we'll be concentrating on slab. The first technique is pinch. As you know, you take a ball of clay, make a void inside of it, and pinch it out into a bowl. The next one is coil, which uses long, thin coils and builds them up to make large, rounded vessels very fast. The third one is slab, which we'll be working on today, whereby a slab of even thickness clay is rolled out and let to go leather hard, which is slightly dry, and then assembled. Great for geometric forms. Here's my design for my demonstration vase today. Notice I've drawn it on half a sheet of paper on purpose to keep it the correct size for this project. Let's start with this slab project. We're going to take clay and slam it down until it sort of resembles a slab, and then we'll be evening it out by rolling it very even. I'll use these pencils. They're overlapped beside the clay, and they're going to act as guides that make sure my clay is even thickness everywhere. This is important. I'm going to lightly draw my profile onto the piece of clay so I can see how much clay I need to be working with. The excess clay I'll put off to the side and cover it with a wet paper towel for later. Put pencils on each side, overlap them, and this way you're going to get an exactly even depth of clay. I noticed my roller was a little dirty. Make sure to keep it clean so your rolling stays nice and smooth. Now we have to check for air bubbles. I see them. They look like little blisters in the clay. Go ahead and pop them to get the air out and gently push the clay down. They'll look pretty and even as you work the clay later. Give it another roll to smooth it out, and it'll be ready to go. Now I'm going to trace this slab profile onto the clay, and I'll cut it out. I'm just using a toothpick or a pencil or something pointy to trace out gently the profile I'm looking for onto the clay. Using a butter knife or similar cutting device, I can cut out the profile of the slab I want. Use that sponge, a nice soft sponge with a little water in it, to clean up the edges. And then I will put it away to dry to leather hard. Now I'm going to work on some of the long strips I need. When I throw my clay down, I can throw it in such a way that I get automatically nice long strips of clay. I'm going to give it a little test fit. Now it's not even yet, it hasn't been rolled, but I just want to see if it's approximately the same or correct size. And now I can roll it using my double pencil method to ensure that it's very evenly thick. Do another test fit. And measure where it should be cut. Don't have a straight edge? A ruler makes a great straight edge. The side of a cardboard food box makes a great straight edge. And even a folded up piece of paper can do the trick. You don't need a ruler to have a straight edge. Quick test fit. Now I know exactly where to cut it. I'm going to lay down my homemade straight edge. A ruler would be best, but a piece of paper works in a pinch. Using a butter knife or similar cutting device, I'm going to go ahead and cut a nice slab, nice and straight. Follow up with a damp sponge, make it really pretty, and put these off to the side to become leather hard. Leather hard can be achieved in about 15 minutes in the sunshine outside, or on a wet day it can be achieved just by laying on the countertop in your house for about an hour. How do you know if it's leather hard? Well, look at this. It's not bending, it's not deflecting, but it's still dark and cool to the touch. That's key. Now I've rolled out a couple of small thin coils because I need them, and I'm going to score all the places where the clay is going to come together. My slab pieces are nice and leather hard, and so now the scoring can begin. Anywhere clay's touching, it gets scored and then covered with slip or slipped. When I'm creating an angle, I can use a thin, soft coil to reinforce that joint. It makes it nice and strong. Soon I'm going to be laying a top on this curved vessel, and as a disclaimer, I accidentally let it become a little too leather hard to where it wouldn't bend anymore. But I was still within the safe zone because the clay was still dark, the clay was still cool to the touch. When I put it up to my cheek, it still felt cold. So I was able to take that long rectangle strip and apply a little water to both sides and set it off in the corner for about 5 or 10 minutes. And when I picked it up again, it had that very small amount of flexibility it needed. So it went from being totally rigid to being a little bit flexible. And here it is, you can see it. It's flexing a little bit, but it's still pretty leather hard. Now I'm going to score it, and you'll see that it did get back its small bit of flexibility it needed. You have that ability as long as your slab is dark and cool and has a little moisture in it. If your slab work has gone powdery white color, it's too late. It's called bone dry, and it will not be able to be resuscitated. Everywhere clay is coming together, slipping and scoring occurs. I'm ready to take this strip that has regained some of its flexibility, slip it, and attach it to the top. It's a bit of a delicate dance, getting something to be slightly flexible but not too wet. Here I'm fitting it onto the top of the vase, and sometimes you might have to come back and do a little bit of cutting to get it to fit the way you want. Spend a lot of time with your card and your sponge doing the finish work on your projects. These are the tools that really make it look professional and smooth. Now it's time to add the pinch pot components to this project. I've decided to make little openings where the flowers that will be living in the vase, I'm kind of making little openings for the flowers to rest in. So I made tiny pinch pots, and now I'm gently attaching them using the slip and score method to the side of the vase. I need to poke holes for the flowers, so I'm going to give it a try with the pencil. If I'm gentle enough and I twist, I won't damage or smash my vase. So I'm trying to use a light hand and go in and make flower holes so the stems can go into the vase. I'm happy with how this turned out. I'm happy with the holes. I'm happy with the vase. I'm going to remember to put my initial, first and last, and class period on the bottom of the vase. Now, if I'm done with the vase, I'm just going to put a loose bag over it. If I want to keep working on it, I'm going to make sure to twist it airtight and clip it so that it will stay moist for me.